I'm live. I am. Oh, there I am. Hello. How you doing? We don't have no intros anymore. I mean, we will. We're just starting up and trying to get things going. Okay. Um Good to be here. It's January 21, 2026, just to put ourselves in time. Oh, guys, what a way to wake up. I actually forced myself to listen to Donald Trump speaking in Davos. He just finished. You know, we gotta do something. We gotta do something. He's an insane effing madman. The horror. I can't, the whole world, people all over the world were watching that. And you know what they're thinking? They're thinking the whole world is fucked. They're thinking Americans must be the stupidest people on earth. And they think they're the smartest. God, they're going to end up hating our guts. I know a lot of people say they're giving us a pass. They know all of us didn't vote for him. That ain't going to last long. We've got to take him out. There are constitutional ways to do that. I'm not talking about killing him. We have got to get, I don't think we can make it to November where the Democrats can take control of Congress. We can't do another year. That's a year. We can't do another year of this guy. Hi from Portland. Portland on the West Coast or Portland on the East Coast? I heard ICE is in Portland, Maine. And you know what? Listen to how awful, juvenile, awful, cruel this administration is. The ICE is now in Maine and in other seaport towns. And you know how they put names on operations. And they're calling it, I swear I read this, Operation Fresh Catch. Ha ha ha. Oh, how clever. You can imagine the meeting where someone came up with that and everybody laughed. God, God, God. Okay. Oh, you're West. Well, welcome. God, it's early for you. So anyway, listen. For those of you who didn't maybe see the inaugural show yesterday of this new rendition of Lynn Cullen Live, it's bare bones. As you can see, I'm doing, I think I'm doing the video to make up for the fact that we've lost the ability, for now, to take your calls. And that also means that my sister can't call in. So we're working on it. I just wanted to get back out here. I don't know that I want to keep this this me out there, because I had to comb my hair. But the fact is, I mean, I learned long ago from television, it's not like I only have to get dressed from the waist up. Yeah. And it's not like I wear makeup anymore. I mean, I wear a little bit. I have to fill in some eyebrows so you can actually see them. Because when you get old, it's amazing how I shed more than the dog. And what a riot it is to see him walking around with one of my long white hairs on his back. Ha ha! Really, I think he walks around with more of my hair on him than I walk around with his hair on me. I am avoiding the issue, which is Donald Trump. Guys, he spoke for 1 hour and 12 minutes. Somebody did the math. And it was, well, we know what it is. It was a meandering bunch of braggadocio and lies and insults. I mean, he insulted every country in the world, except I don't think he insulted Putin and Russia or China. I don't know. But what used to be our allies, because they ain't anymore. He's made us be alone in the world. Can you imagine? He's made us be alone in the world. I just realized I don't have to look at myself. If I just look around, is that okay? Like, I'm just gonna stop looking at myself, because it's disconcerting. Beth is saying he actually complimented North Korea. Yes, I missed that one for their strong borders. I'll tell you what, though, when he ended just moments ago, the applause were as tepid as applause could be. Just a little. As opposed to, of course, the Canadian Prime Minister, Mr. Carney, right? Carney? Oh, yeah. I got to learn that guy's name. Hey, you Canadians to our north. We look at you with such envy that you are led by an intelligent, eloquent man. Unbelievable. His speech, by the way, I've seen a number of historians are flagging it and saying this speech, Carney's speech, is going to be in history books because he so nailed what is happening in the world right now geopolitically, because the American fucking people re-elected an infantile grotesquerie of a madman. And somebody's reminding me, I'm sorry, it's the only way I'm able to interact with you. So every once in a while, I'm just going to check over here at chat and feel free. I might miss what you're saying. But somebody mentioned the press conference, whatever that was, that he did yesterday. Again, good God in heaven. The takeaway on that one was what he actually said of him and the job he's done. God is very proud. God. Okay, let me get to Carney's speech a little bit, because as I said, this guy nailed it. I just have a little excerpt of it here. It's worth listening to. And let me tell you, we're so used, we Americans, to being talked down to. Being in television as I was back in the day, I remember being absolutely appalled when I was informed, this was right when computers came in, that they had a program that they were going to run our scripts through to make sure that we weren't using words that people wouldn't understand. And I forget the grade level, but I think it was 5th, that all of our stories, and this is back in the 80s, guys, had to be written at a 5th grade level. And as someone who loves words, I was just, what? So I'm sure that grade level, if they're still doing that now, I'm willing to bet the grade level's got to be pre-K. Because Carney's speech was, I mean, he was 2 seconds into it, and he was talking about Thucydides. Thucydides. Can you imagine an American president, let alone this one, talking about Thucydides to us? Talking not down to us, but up to us? I was so grateful. And let me tell you something. My knowledge of Thucydides is minimal, is too big a word. But I was so taken with the fact that this world leader chose to invoke a man dead for millennia. And it made me go look up Thucydides. So I thank you, Mr. Carney, because I learned something, because you spoke up to me. He also used the word hegemony and hegemon. And again, hegemon, by the way, is Donald Trump. Adolf Hitler was a hegemon. Okay. So Carney was talking about the world now being divvied up by the hegemons, by the big guys. And his address, he addressed mostly most of the nations of the world, which are not the big guys. I forget what he called them, the middle countries, whatever. It was just very clear. Those of us in the middle have got to be together. We have to create alliances because all of those middle countries together can take on a hegemon. So he was warning Europe, especially, that the old world is gone. Trump unilaterally has destroyed the world order that has existed in all of our lifetime since World War II. He's blown it up. No one asked him to. He didn't run for office saying he would, but he's done it. And as I've mentioned a million times, destroying something is extraordinarily easy compared to building something. And where's Carney's thing? So, wait, so Thucydides, the reason Carney mentioned this Greek historian, you know how I think Herodotus is generally thought to be considered the first historian, which may or may not be true. It's just the first one we know. But Thucydides was was there as well. These are things I've just, learned because the Canadian Prime Minister didn't talk down to us. And Thucydides' most famous quote is this. And you can see when I read it, you will see why he employed the wisdom of this man. Right as the world goes is only a question between equals in power. While saying the people who decide what's right or what's wrong are those in power. Nobody else gets to say. He says, right as the world goes is only in question between equals in power. While the strong do what they can and the weak suffer what they must. And Carney was saying, let's be clear. We're living in a world now of these evil, he didn't say that, he didn't name names, hegemons. But he was talking about Donald Trump and Putin and Xi and maybe Un, although he doesn't have as much. And Thucydides said this after he said, look, it's all about those big guys deciding your fate. What's right, what's wrong. They have the means, the power, and you must suffer. But he followed it with this. The bravest are surely those who have the clearest vision of what is before them. Glory and danger alike. And yet, notwithstanding, go out to meet it. He's saying we're living now in a more dangerous world because of Trump, because of the destruction he's done, the blowing up of the world order. And we have to acknowledge it, understand it, not wallow in nostalgia or thinking we can somehow get it back or, again, no. Construction, reconstruction takes a whole lot longer than destruction. We don't have that time. We've got to deal with what is, and what is destruction. And the promise of more. And the promise that the big guys are just going to carve things up like they want. He wants Greenland. That's what he told them in Davos. He even, I think, at one point called it our territory. What? He keeps talking about our hemisphere, and he means by our, by the way, he means his. The our, when he uses an O-U-R, it ain't including you and me. It's including the billionaires, the corporation, but the people? So I just want to say to Carney, God bless you and thank you for that astonishing speech. And really, the difference between the speech that he gave yesterday and the speech that our president, God damn it, excuse me while I wrestle with my phone, gave today is humiliating for us. Humiliating. I keep thinking we should fly planes over Europe, with trailing banners that say, please forgive us. Please, God, forgive us. We're working. We are going to work to get this SOB out. Why can't I find anything from his speech? Because I screwed up that one thing. Okay, it's okay. But I also want to, and I'm not sure where I got this, but this was in the Atlantic. By the way, if you're going to subscribe to any print paper, or you don't have to get it in print, the Atlantic right now, but to my mind, has without a doubt the greatest stable of journalists imaginable. I mean, just truly. In fact, their latest issue, because I still get the print as well, has, I don't know how many pages, maybe 15, 20 pages with pictures of American federal workers who have either resigned or been fired or whatever. They're gone. What they had done for us, they are no longer doing. And they range from somebody in a low-level position to some of the very high positions in various cabinet-level departments. And to read profile after profile and story after story of what they did and what they no longer do is one of the best compilations of, again, the destruction, the loss that we have suffered because of this. I don't even like calling him a man, because he is in no way. I don't even want to identify with him as a member of a species I happen to be part of. I don't even I really, you know how dogs, no matter what size they are or what they look like, they recognize, oh, that's another dog. A Chihuahua knows a Great Dane is a dog, even though it doesn't look anything like him. I don't recognize Donald F. and Trump as a member of my species. I can't bear the thought. Anyway, in the Atlantic, Robert Kagan said this, and it's the truth, and it's why I'm so scared. It somewhat is like what I was talking about yesterday about how we've grown soft as a people. We have been so privileged. I'm not using it like the woke privileged way. I am saying to have been born in this country in the time we were and to live the lives we did. I mean, it's not true with the baby being born today here, but us, man, we got one of the best rides that a human, since humans first started dragging their knuckles across the terra firma, have ever had. And it doesn't make you strong. That ease. Didn't have to worry about, being mauled by a lion. Didn't have to worry about, being harmed, even though some still do look at others who are different and think they're going to kill them. We have lived at a sweet spot. I mean, I know American Jews definitely have. In Jewish history, there's been no better time. And that's ending as well. Things don't stay. But Kagan says this. I don't want, I'm looking, trying not to get the, okay. Americans are entering the most dangerous world they have known since World War II. And they are neither materially nor psychologically ready. This is true. Everything in that sentence is true. We are entering, we're just at the beginning of, God help us. And we are not prepared emotionally, psychologically, materially, politically, in any effing way for what is right ahead of us. He says for 8 decades, see, it's my lifespan. For 8 decades, they have inhabited a liberal international order shaped by America's predominant strength and have grown accustomed to a world operating in a certain way. And what he's saying is, it's gone. It's gone. And Trump at Davos today just underscores that. Carney was saying to the others, guys, this guy can't be appeased. He's a bully, okay? That much we know. He's a bully. Anyone who knows anything about bullies is you can't appease them. At a similar time in world history, when another hegemon was flexing his muscles and saying, "This is mine," even though it wasn't, and then just going and taking it. I'm thinking of Adolf Hitler. There were those who thought we'll deal with him. We're going to, again, this nonsense of thinking you can what? Sit down nicely at some table and talk to them. That's what Neville Chamberlain thought. Remember that? The British Prime Minister at the time, Neville Chamberlain. Jesus. Peace in our time. Adolf told me, no problem. The only thing a hegemon, a bully, knows is power. And if he sees weakness, he goes in for the kill. So the appeasement we see in America's media companies, in American business, in some European leaders, in people giving him awards and prizes, all that kind of crap, it doesn't make them one whit safer. It makes them much, much more in peril. And that's what Carney was saying. Guys, we've got to get ourselves together and provide, it's like we the people, the only way we're taking this guy down is for the people. The people united can never be defeated. Anyone who's ever gone to a march might know that one. The people united can never be defeated because we, the people, are a force. But you got to unite, and you got to be willing to take on that scary other. I mean, Carney had one line where he said something like, hey, talking to the middle countries, not the hegemons. If we're not at the table, we'll be on the menu. That's it. Guys. It's an exhausting time. Richard saying the founding fathers may have gotten it wrong. Well, I mean, I saw something interesting yesterday. Somebody said that if you look at the first lines of "We the People," in order to form a more perfect union. And whoever I saw, I don't remember where I read it, they said, the Supreme Court, these originalists who think you have to go back to whatever those founding fathers said, like you can bear arms, and you take that literally as they intended it. We're skipping over that 4-letter word they put in, more, in order to form a more perfect union. That suggests that you you take whatever they are doing in their time, and the idea is to continue to perfect what they laid out in order to form a more perfect union. They didn't say we're doing this to form a perfect union. What they had as a result of compromise. They weren't going to get anything without compromising with the fucking slaveholders. And there were, they didn't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. They were, in large part, extraordinary group. They were. They did give us a framework that has served us pretty damn well, inasmuch as we have made it more perfect over time with amendments, all of which this current crowd are trying to destroy. All the work done to make it a more just, to make the country live up to the promise. Oh, guys. Another quote, I got to share this with you. Scott Bessent, is that how you pronounce it? Bessent? He happens to be I refuse to claim him, your Treasury Secretary. He is vile. I saw him being interviewed, and he said this. Here it is, apropos of nothing. He was talking, the way they talk about how the world really works. And I think he was trying to show that these rich guys are not out of touch with the rest of us. And so in talking to the interviewer, he said this, trying to explain how, people handle their money. And speaking of affordability and all of that, and I think they were talking about retirement. And listen to what the Treasury Secretary of We the People said. He started a sentence thusly. Someone, maybe your parents, for their retirement, have bought 5, 10, 12 houses. What? What? They think our parents are what? Hedge funds? What the fuck? He said that. That guy is in charge of the economic stuff. Now, who has parents who, I've been thinking about our retirement, and I think we should, let's buy up 12. Let's buy up the neighborhood. What? The stupidity of Trump, the ignorance of Trump is so frightening. He was telling over there he is in Europe. And he actually said, without us, the United States, you'd all be speaking German. And I think he said, and a little Japanese maybe. Without us, you'd all be speaking German. again, the offensiveness of that is unforgivable. What were we talking about yesterday? Indecency. He is an indecent human being. The Europeans were fighting for their lives and their futures and their countries well before the US came in. We'd all be speaking German, frankly, if they hadn't stood up as they did, some countries more than others. And the country that really made certain that they wouldn't be speaking German was not the United States. Yes, we played a part, a big part, but it was the Soviet Union. It was that god-awful Joseph Stalin. It was the Russian people who died in numbers that so far exceeded the American toll. How dare he, in his ignorance? He doesn't understand things like people working together. It always has to be us, me, I. Do you know he said, like at the beginning when he started up, he just started talking about how great things are here, how it's the greatest economy, how gas, he actually said gas, a gallon of gas in a whole lot of states is $1.99. I don't think so. Maybe. I doubt it. He throws out numbers and well, never, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Jesus H. Anyway, I saw, there's a quote from, in regard to the Greenland insanity. There is a quote from some guy who's in Belgium, an economist, who said to Europeans, hey guys, again, let's deal with reality here. In regard to Greenland, we either have to fight a trade war or we're in a real war. And that is the truth. And I think, with Trump's display here and these guys getting together, they have to see it. I don't know. The jerks at Davos, those are the sons of bitches. Those are the people that have all the money. Their reality is not our reality. I don't look to them to know how to fix things. What they don't know how to fix things. They know how to acquire things, money and power, status. But they have a lot of all of it. And so their reaction can be important if they agree that Trump is as much a danger as he quite clearly is. Maybe, let's hope, there can start being some pressure applied. Who could, I mean, I don't know. See, the problem with the 25th Amendment is that J.D. Vance would become the president. And he's smarter than Trump, not much. He's smarter than Trump. And he's more of a real fascist than Trump. I mean, Trump is is nothing. He holds no, he has no creed, no, the reason there's no like general like policies come out because that is not, it's just me, 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 me. That's all it is. But Vance is another kind of animal. And to employ the 25th Amendment and then get J.D. Vance, who's ruthless. Everybody says, oh, but he can't get elected. But he'd be president for like 2 or 3 years. A white, racist, nationalist creep. I don't know. I don't know. Some political science professor I had when I was in college said that the United States was the luckiest nation because at the most dangerous times in its history, somehow it had a great leader who arose and met the challenge. And that's not a given again, guys, us spoiled brat Americans. That ain't a given. We're sure as hell finding that out. But my poli-sci professor pointed out at the beginning, George Washington, the first president, not a perfect man, but who did a lot of things right and set a precedent of presidents not being kings. And then Abraham Lincoln, as the country was torn in two. And then Franklin Delano Roosevelt as the fascist threat came upon us. We were so lucky. So anyway, I'm sorry, I'm jumping around. I'm weaving, as Donald Trump says. Oh, I just wanted, did you hear there was another train crash in Spain? Hey, if you're anywhere near Spain, don't get on a train. The trains in Spain stay not so much on the tracks. Yeah. Oh, the trains in Spain, man. The Spanish government, wait. Can't imagine that. I just want to say this about the people in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Wow. Wow. They have shown up. They have been indomitable. It's, the weather like we had yesterday and that we're heading into this weekend below zero. And that's what they've been showing up in. I saw some reporter who was from there put out a long list of what the reporters coming in should be bringing with them in order to survive covering these protests and rallies. And it was wonderful to read because it was a really good survival manual of how to dress warmly, of what not to wear, what to wear, and things that you might not have thought you needed, but you're going to need. And yeah, I'll tell you, the reporters out there, they're putting in some tough work. But the people, just God bless them. So Minnesota has filed a lawsuit against, I'm not sure exactly, ICE, and they've literally charged the federal government with having invaded their city, the Twin Cities. And yeah, it's an invasion. And now these potentially 1,200 others coming. Wow. And here's what's probably coming down. He's going to invoke the Resurrection Act. The Insurrection Act. And I mean, it's so clear what they're doing. Minneapolis was doing just fine. And Trump's guys, Trump's thugs, Trump's brown shirts came in to create chaos, to create fear, to provoke, so that they could then say, my God, look at this, there's an insurrection. And I mean, they're so brazenly right out there. There's no subtlety with these guys about what they're doing, you know? And I would be surprised if we do not see at some point he's itching to put federal troops in our cities, so that if we get to November, they will be able to keep people from voting, is what I'm suspecting. Wow. I mean, Trump flat out said that Minnesota should, these are his words, the day of reckoning and retribution is coming. ICE was created, well, the Department of Homeland Security, that's Kristi Noem. It was created not too long ago. It was created as a result of 9/11. And I remember at the time some people saying, you know, this could end up being a mistake, that we're responding in the moment in a maybe a way too quickly, because this could well end up being some mammoth cabinet that will cause more trouble than it's going to help. And it's clear that that is what has happened. The Department of Homeland Security has become a monster. And this administration now defines the enemy not as it's been defined in the past, but the enemy are the American people who don't vote for Trump. That's the enemy. And they live mostly in the cities. So you've got to go into the cities with your Department of Homeland Security forces and shut those damn bastions of domestic terrorism, people who don't vote for Trump, shut them down. I mean, you look at him egging on the protesters in the streets in Iran as he and his kill and terrorize Americans exercising their civil rights in his own country. God almighty. But he says God is very proud. Wow. Okay. Oh, I had this one little thing. I want to get this in because Denmark's in the news. He doesn't know the difference between Denmark, Norway. During his speech this morning, he actually at one point said that Iceland, he was talking about Iceland, and he meant Greenland. He was blaming things on Iceland, and he had it all so mucked up you can't imagine. Anyway, but Denmark and Norway have been in the news, the poor Danes, for having landed on Greenland before Donald Trump did. But there was an article while I was off that blew me away. Denmark is the first country that has stopped delivering mail. They don't deliver mail anymore. Their postal service, and our post office boxes are these blue things. The Danes had red ones, and they've been picked up. Some are people are wanting to buy them, to have them as so they can ask their grandchildren, in 15 years, do you know what that is? And the kids will be just astonished that people used to drop what? Letters people wrote on paper and they put a stamp on. And Denmark has its postal service much older than ours, older than our country. It's over 400 years. It was, I'm talking in the past tense, it was over 400 years old. And Denmark is one of the most digitized nations on earth. Only 250,000 people, Danes, that's less than 5% of the population, still receive communications by mail, less than 5%. And that's why they said that ain't enough to keep this going. Do you know how much I have boxes of letters. It's hard to lose things. It's hard. 9 in 10 Danes shop online. And the change, this is what they said, is about keeping up with the times and to meet the demands of society. It's a natural evolution. Yeah. Well, I'm just telling you that because, yeah, that is an inevitability. Margaret, absolutely. She says we are all on a speed train in Spain. There's the metaphor. Ay, 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 ay. So, guys, thank you. Thank you. Our hour is up. And again, I got no music to play out. I got nothing. I'm just gonna push a button and be gone. And I'll be back tomorrow. I'm sorry for not seeing some of what you wrote. Yeah, sorry, but I'm not the best multitasker in the universe. But I'm gonna try, and maybe I'll get better. And I'm also not assured I'm gonna be visible to you, because this is it just whatever. Anyway, thank you, and I'll be back tomorrow. As far as I know, what the hell do I know? Yep.